Start to glide your shoulder blades down your back. Let the legs splay open, or if you're feeling any strain in low back, just allow the knees to fall into each other with the knees bent. Start to feel this beautiful imprint of your body on the earth. And then start to close your eyes. And begin with a conscious exhale as you simply root into your mat. And just noticing your breath out, noticing that sweet surrender as we let ourselves simply be right here, right now. And as we continue to empty out, as we continue to let go, we start to fill ourselves up with new, renewed energy, with fresh breath, and perhaps even a shift in perspective. We begin to feel that perfect balance of being alert and relaxed at the same time. Begin to notice the subtle details of your breath, the way it enters through the rings of your nostrils, the way it flows through the back of your heart, all the way to the bottom of your lungs. Start to feel the expanse around the heart center with every inhale. Start to feel the rise and fall of your belly. And we feel the back body begin to expand. We feel the front body open and skyward. And then moving into a heart pranayama, as you imagine breathing in through the front of your heart center, and then breathing through the back of your heart center on that exhale. Coming through the front door on that inhale, out through the back door on the exhale. Continue with your breath. Imagining just decluttering in the heart center. Imagining just clearing the clutter, a little spring cleaning. And then as we breathe in and through the heart, I offer we cultivate our intention here. Your intention begins with your thought, and the catalyst is a high vibration emotion. Feeling a sense of gratitude or love, inner peace or joy. And we'll continue to come back to that intention again and again throughout our practice. Let's go ahead and start to awaken the body, wiggling your fingertips, wiggling out those toes, rotating your wrists or ankles around. And then start to reach those arms overhead. Take a big stretch. And then starting to release those arms, go ahead and bend your knees. And let the knees open up so the soles of the feet are to touch. And bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. We just start to feel an opening in the pelvis, the inner thighs. Letting gravity help us stretch. And then go ahead and interlace the fingertips together at your belly. And then we'll take those arms overhead on the inhale. So just creating a little circle around the head. Feel a little bit lift in your upper body and the chest. Take another breath in. On your exhale, we'll start to bring the hands back to the belly. The legs will come together. You'll start to press your low back into the floor. Again, inhaling, arms reaching overhead, knees opening up. Exhale, pressing low back into the floor, bringing the legs together. And continue on your own. And start to awaken the upper body, the shoulders, core, and hips. And take one more round, inhaling. And we'll meet on that exhale, bringing the legs together, bringing the hands gently back. And then go ahead and release the hands. And then bring the knees up over your hips. And just start out with the legs really snug into your belly. So you can grab a hold if you'd like and just hold for a moment. And then we'll go ahead and extend the arms out. Bring the knees up over those hips. We'll take a breath in. Palms are facing down. Exhale, let the knees fall just halfway over to one side. Start to draw that belly in so we start to wake up our core even more. The inhale brings you back up to the center. And then exhale just halfway to the other side. Belly drawing in, take a hold here. And then we'll start to move with breath. The inhale brings you back up through the center. And the exhale halfway to the other side. And breath in. And breath out. Now you can also do this with straight legs as you come up to the center, legs gently going up towards the ceiling. The exhale lets you just fall halfway. Breath in up to the center. So just waking up your obliques, internal and external obliques. You can use the support of your hands to press into the floor. And eventually you'll bring those legs back up to the center. You'll hug the knees back into your chest and just give it a really good squeeze. And then extending those arms back out. This time we go into our twist, just letting the legs fall either direction. So let you decide here, knees in line with the hips is a little more low back stretch. If you want a little more for upper body, just start to draw the legs in a little more snug towards your chest. And then start to spin the chest open a little bit more, gazing opposite way. And we'll gaze back up. We'll bring those knees back up to the center and then exhale, letting the legs fall, other direction. Again, you decide how snug you want the legs to be in towards the chest. You decide what your focus is this morning as you take your gaze the opposite way, and or just close the eyes. Feeling the softening of your shoulder towards the floor. And we'll look back up. We'll bring those legs back up to the center. Lowering the feet down to the floor. Do a slight adjustment just so your hips and spine are back to neutral. We'll bring the arms at our side body. Heels are close in towards your glutes. You can even graze the edges of your heels with the fingertips. As we inhale, we press into the feet, start to lift your hips up, squeezing the glutes right into bridge pose. Now take a moment to hold bridge. So I just want you to start to feel the strength of your body here, of your back body. You're pressing into the mat. Your hips are lifting, glutes are engaged. And then maybe walking your shoulder blades in. So we start to open up that front chest. You can interlace those fingertips together. Keep drawing the knees in over your ankles. Couple more breaths. Then we release the hands, walk your shoulder blades back out, and then gently roll your way down upper spine, mid-spine, low back, and then your hips. Again, inhale, this time into rolling bridge. We start to lift the hips, low back, mid-spine, upper spine. Keep lifting the chest towards your chin. The exhale, we gently lower one vertebrae at a time. On that inhale, feel the expanse in the heart, breathing through the front of your chest. The exhale is through that back door of your heart center, lowering you down one vertebrae at a time. Couple more rounds on your own. And one more time through. As we lower ourselves into the floor, we'll bring the legs into the chest, right into any variation of happy baby. You start to feel the opening in the pelvis, feeling heaviness in your thighs towards the earth. You can begin to rock a little side to side, massaging your low back, massaging your spine. And then slowly drawing those legs back together. We'll take the legs up towards the ceiling. Into flex and point your toe. You can rotate your ankle around. Now we'll just hold here and just be in this modified variation of legs up on the wall or shoulder stand. For some of you, legs can go overhead into plow. Otherwise, just hold here and enjoy. Keep zipping the legs together. And if you're in plow, you can slowly find your way back down. We'll continue with the legs up towards the ceiling, and then we'll let the legs open up into a V shape. Hands can be on the outside of your legs or on the inner thighs. Press through your heels. And go ahead and start to press your low back into the floor and curl your tailbone a little bit here. One more breath. And one more breath out. We'll all start to bend the knees, bring the legs back together. We're going to rock and roll lengthwise on the spine. And just massaging all the way from the hips up towards that cervical spine, the neck, and then eventually we come all the way up as we come into a seat. And again, if you need a pillow to sit on or something to prop up the pelvis, go ahead and do so. And we'll start to bring the hands to the knees. We'll move into neck and then we'll work our way down. Let's start to just tuck the chin. And then start to lift your chin, opening the throat. And then exhale to tuck your chin. And just noticing the details. Notice how your neck feels. Only letting the head dip back as far as it's comfortable for you. One more round. And eventually you can tuck the chin in to roll your head to one side of your shoulder and then let your head dip back and circle all the way around. Eyes can be opened or closed. The inhale lets you open the throat. The exhale lets you tuck your chin. And when you come to a good stopping point, going the opposite direction. And eventually we come back around through the center, head is neutral. Starting here as we press into our seat, right ear to the right shoulder, and then reach across with the right hand. Give your head a gentle nudge down. Bring that left hand down to the floor to ground. Okay, so that's option one. Option two is taking your left hand, just bring it around to your low back, palm will face out, and you'll just continue to walk that hand over to the right side of your body. Press that hand into your back, feeling a little more traction for the stretch. And then wherever you're at, we're going to start to just take the chin up a little bit more and let the head dip back. So here we shift the stretch to the SCM muscle. This is the muscle that starts behind the back of your ear and it attaches to your collarbone. And then we all go ahead and slowly bring that head back through, release your hand, and coming back to center. Sitting tall, inhale, left ear to left shoulder, reaching with that left hand, and just using the weight of your hand to draw down. You can stay right here, take that right hand, turn the palm behind you, bring it around to your low back, and then walk that hand over as far as you can go. And then we start to rotate the chin up towards the ceiling a little bit more as we let the head dip back. And then we'll go ahead and slowly bring the head back to starting position, releasing the hand and back to neutral. Sitting tall in the spine once again. Let's inhale, reach those arms up to the ceiling. On your exhale, bend your elbows into cactus arms. Squeezing the shoulder blades gently down the back. Imagine a little ball between the shoulder blades. Start to squeeze in and then perhaps looking up. We'll reach back up towards the sky, inhaling. Dropping your right arm down on your exhale into a side bend. Ground down through your left hip, and then start to spin the chest open, looking up, inhaling. And then exhale, turn your chest down and over to the right. Inhale, open back up. A little spinal rotation and twist on the exhale. And turn and stretch superficial back muscles. Let's do one more round through. And we come back up on the breath in and release. Exhale, switching sides. Left arm reaches high, big inhale. And then exhale to bend. And the next inhale, your chest opens up towards the ceiling. Feel the rotation from the rib cage. Exhale to turn and rotate down and over to the left. A couple more on your own. exhaling, letting it go. We all rise back up on that breath and release the hands. Breath out. Right into shoulder rolls. Hands can come to the knees. We rise up with those shoulders up to the ears. Exhale is down and away. Beautiful. Again, breath in and breath out. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Let's bring those hands up to the shoulder caps. We'll take those elbows forward this time. Inhale, and then exhale, roll them back. We'll start to add in the spine, start to round the spine. Inhaling and opening up on your own. Few rolls. And then we'll go the opposite direction whenever you're ready. And we'll eventually go ahead and release those shoulders and shake them out, shake out those arms. Walking those hands forward, start to find your fold, feeling the hips gently open. Now remember, at any point a seat is uncomfortable or too much on your knees, you can unravel and even take the legs forward. Now start to ground down through your hips, ground down through your sits bones. And then we'll go ahead and rise back up as we take the hands behind us this time. Fingertips facing forward or turned out ever so slightly as you open up the chest, pushing into the hands. Gaze is up. Now some of you lifting the hips here is an option, squeezing the glutes, opening the pelvis more, front body, back body strengthening. Big inhale. And the exhale, we lower ourselves back into the floor. Let's go ahead and find our way into all fours as you swing the legs behind you. So remember, padding for the knees is an option, blanket, pillow, whatever you have handy. And start to check into your physical body. Some of you request was core. You can start to move into planks and kneeling planks. Superficial back muscle stretch, down dog or child's pose. Perhaps it's just movement in the pelvis, hip circles, neck rolls, shoulder rolls. And then we'll start to move together. Let's find our way into all fours. Hands directly underneath those shoulders. We find neutral spine, knees underneath the pelvis. On the inhale, start to drop the belly. Tailbone is up. We glide the heart forward. Exhale, tailbone curls. Push into the floor. Feel the broadening between the shoulder blades. Inhaling, chest and heart forward. Exhale to curl and round. Keep the movements, continue on, and then start to move into your heart pranayama. So the inhale, breathing through the front of the heart. The exhale, through the back of the heart center. And then one more time through. As we come back through all fours, we move into a side plank. Okay, so I'm going to do the modified variation. Right hand is base, kickstanding that right foot out, extending the left leg as you open up to one side of your mat. Okay, so this is part of your core. Now you can stay here. Some of you, maybe it's full side plank is an option. You can also lift that extended leg up to hip height. And then start to scoop in the belly a little bit more. Keeping that bottom wrist light. Big breath. And then looking down, come on back to the center, switching sides. Kickstanding your leg out, your foundation leg. Other leg straightens out as we turn and rotate, reaching up to the highest point in the body. One more breath here. And the exhale brings you back through the center. You're going to flow on your own. The inhale takes you to the other side. And the exhale lets you lower. Keep it up, you guys. Let's take another round through. On each side on your own. When you've finished, find child's pose. And we'll wait for the whole family to arrive. Child's pose, your knees can be opened up, giving you more space. Again, some of you, maybe it's again those shoulders, you can bring the palms to touch, bending the elbows. Feel a little more stretch from the triceps down to the armpits. And a couple more breaths here. Beautiful, everybody is there. So we'll go ahead and come on back up through all fours, moving into thread the needle. Taking the right hand up to the sky, rotate your wrist out. We'll take a big inhale. And the exhale to thread the needle, just dropping right down to your shoulder. So you have options here. You can take that opposite hand, reach back behind you. You can also just let your forehead rest to the mat and even drop down into child's pose. And then we'll all rise back up. On that inhale, reach that right hand back up to the sky. And exhale to release. When we switch sides, left hand reaching up towards the ceiling, rotate your wrists out. Take another big inhale. And then exhale to thread the needle. Again, choosing your medicine here, your variation. And then with your next inhale, we'll come back up. We reach that left hand back up to the ceiling, big breath. And exhale to release. Remaining here, we'll start to walk that right hand forward a little bit more. And then imagine doing a karate chop on the floor. And then start to melt down in your chest, bringing your right ear to your right shoulder. Now keep pressing your hand into the floor. And we'll slowly press and rise back up as we switch sides. Start to walk that left hand forward a little bit more, karate chop the floor, straighten out your arms, and then start to melt the chest down. Your gaze will go over to the right, left ear to shoulder. And then we'll all come back up. Walk the hands forward a little bit more. We're moving into a downward facing dog. Now, if that's too much on the wrist, you can find child's pose or do a few rounds of cat-cow. As you lift up in those hips, be really generous with the bend in your knees to start. Push into your hands a little bit more. Feel the chest towards your thigh. Feel the tops of the thighs draw back. So we're opening the channels of the spine, your lifeline. You can straighten out the legs at this point without compromising the elongation of the spine. You can walk your dog pedaling out your feet. And then we'll all start to find our way into plank or kneeling plank. Engaging core, breath in. Stay for your breath out. Another inhale. Exhale back into down dog or child's pose. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time we inhale, shift forward. Go past your wrists. On the exhale, bend the elbows, lowering yourself down into the floor. Start to walk your hands out a little bit wider, and you're on the pads of your fingertips. Elbows are lifting up. We inhale, start to lift up in the chest. Press into those fingertips. Exhale, drop your right shoulder down, gazing over to the left. Breath in brings you back up. Exhale, opposite shoulder drops. Again, inhaling. And exhale. Last round. We come back through the center and lower yourself down into the mat. Arms at your side body, palms facing down. Exhale your breath. Inhale to lift your chest, lift your hands and your gaze. Press that pubic bone down. We feel the strengthening in the back body, the opening in the heart center. Exhale to lower, gazing either direction. Let's take a moment to let the head rest, to feel the subtle stretch in the neck. Forehead to the mat, exhale your breath. Inhale to lift. This time option to lift your legs. Everything rises, fingertips reaching towards the back of your mat, toes reaching back, chest forward. And then exhale to lower, gazing the opposite way. Last round, forehead to the mat, exhale your breath. Inhale to lift up. Now some of you, as you rise up, you can even bend the knees and reach towards the outer ankles. Right into bow pose. We're here for 3, 2, and we all release on 1. Hands to your forehead like a pillow, windshield the legs to the left and to the right. We lower those legs down into the floor. Find your way into Sphinx, so elbows directly underneath those shoulders. Inhale. Exhale to gently tuck the chin a little bit as you start to lift your belly up off the floor. Tops of the thighs start to lift. Pushing down into those forearms. Feel a little rounding in the upper spine. Inhale slowly lowers you back down as you draw the chest and heart forward. Exhale to tuck the chin, to start to lift up in the belly, tops of the thighs. Some of you curling your toes, lifting your knees. And then we lower back down on the breath in. Stretching that front body. Exhale, slight lift in the belly. Squeeze and rise up. And last round here. And exhale.
Gently making your way back down. Awesome, you guys. Lower all the way down to your chest, hands on the mat, elbows up. Push yourself through kneeling plank or full plank on the inhale. Exhale is either down dog or child's pose for your low back stretch. We all find our way towards the top of the mat. Step, hop, or walk your way there. Again, generous bend in the knees as you let yourself drape over those legs as you sway side to side, shaking the head yes, shaking the head no. And then keeping the right hand to the mat, left hand to your low back. Start to flatten out the spine, big breath in. On the exhale, take a soft bend in that right knee. Start to open up your chest to the left. So your shoulder rolls back. Top arm can go up to the sky. So you'll feel this stretch in the outer hip and that straight leg. Big breath. Looking down, exhale to release. We switch sides. Breath in to flatten out the spine and breath out to rotate in your rib cage. Top shoulder rolls back a little bit more. Top arm can go up to the ceiling. And then looking back down, exhale to release. We bend the knees, we roll our way up. Feel your tailbone drop towards the floor like a pulley, pulling everything up. Chin comes up last. Shoulders rise up to those ears, and we roll them down and away. Beautiful. All right, let's find our way towards the top of the mat. We're going to be doing some lunging postures. I really invite you to just start to energize through the legs. Feel the crown of the head lift up. Heart is open. Inhaling, sweeping those arms up to the ceiling. Exhale to forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift, flattening out your spine. Exhale to fold back down. Stepping your left foot back into a lunge. And just hold there for a moment, really feeling the stretch in that front left hip. If you need to, you can drop onto that back knee. Take a breath. Stay for the breath out. Another inhale. And this time we twist. Left hand stays, right hand reaches up to the sky. You're going to try to keep your bottom wrist light. Press through that back heel, squeeze that left glute. Inhale. And then exhale, looking down, hands to the floor. We drop onto that back knee this time. Arms reaching up towards the sky or on top of your thigh. Scissor the legs together. Big inhale. And then exhale to bring the hands to the inside of your right thigh. And then just start to melt the chest down. Hug your right shoulder in towards your thigh, rather, in towards your right shoulder. And then start to just walk your hands a little bit more to the left and just reach those fingertips forward. Think of a down dog in the upper body. And then we'll start to walk the hands back. You'll pick up that back knee, spin your heel down so you can shorten the stance a little bit. Right hand remains on the mat, and then left hand reaches up towards the sky. So if this is too much, you can find more of a side angle, bringing your elbow on top of your knee. Otherwise, keep spinning open, big breath. Stay for that breath out. Next inhale, top hand brings you up right into your warrior two pose. Settle in with your breath out. So take your time to make any adjustments you need to here in your posturing. You got this. Stay with it. Stay in that front knee, making sure the knee's over your second and third big toe. Focus your gaze. Reverse warrior, front palm up, reaching back, letting that backhand tickle down the back of your leg. One more breath. The exhale lets us cartwheel those arms down, stepping forward, breath out. Little wiggle here, bending your knees one at a time. And then we'll start to roll our way back up. And rotate those wrists out. Shoulders rise and back and down. Inhaling, we sweep those arms back up to the ceiling. Exhale to forward fold. Halfway lift, extend through the spine. Exhale to fold back down. This time the right foot steps back, finding your lunge. So making sure you feel that lovely extension in the leg. Squeeze that right glute. Lengthen through your spine. Take another breath here. Right hand stays on the mat, left hand reaches up to the sky for your twist. We look down, exhale, dropping down to that back knee. Crescent lunges next. You can remain right here. You can bring the hands up on top of the thigh, or reach those arms forward and up. We all bring the hands to the inside of the left thigh, right into lizard's pose as you melt the chest down a little bit more. And then we'll start to walk the hands a little bit more to the right. So again, think of that down dog shape in the upper body as you draw the hips back, as you reach the fingertips forward. We take this awkward lunge into surrender. This leap of faith. And walking those hands back. You'll pick up that back knee, spin that back heel down. So essentially you're in a warrior two footing, foundation. Left hand stays on the mat. We spin that right hand up towards the sky. So you can be on the pads of your fingertips. Remember, you can lift up on the elbow if that helps. Next inhale, top hand brings you up, rise into warrior two pose, Virabhadrasana B. Pressing to the outer edge of your back foot, start to feel the hips sink towards the floor. And then your rib cage rises up, keeping you buoyant. Is that inhale. That exhale lets you soften. Reverse warriors next, front palm up. Reaching up and back, backhand tickling down the back of your leg. Slight retraction of your left shoulder blade away from your ear. And feel that opening in your rib cage on that left side. One more breath. The exhale, we cartwheel those arms down. This time step back, down dog, child's pose. Wiggle out. If you'd like a little more chaturanga, you want more core work, upper body work, shifting forward to plank, kneeling plank, lowering yourself down towards the floor. We lift the chest, cobra or up dog. Exhale takes you back into your downward facing dog or child's pose. We're here for 3 full breaths. We'll all find our way to the top of the mat, step, hop, or walk your way there. So you once again rotate those wrists out, gently roll your way up into stand. We're moving into our balancing pose. Moving into eagle pose, Garudasana. So this is essentially opening up that back body, shoulders, nice stretches for the outer hip. Let's open up those arms. On the exhale, place the left arm underneath the right. So you're giving yourself a lovely hug and or right into your eagle arms. Okay, start to just feel that stretch, feel the sensations again, opening in that back of the heart center. We start to bend the knees into chair. So let your knees squeeze in towards each other. You can stay right there or start to shift your weight to that right foot. Placing your left thigh over the right. Squeeze everything in as you sink even deeper. Your toe can remain on the floor for support, for balance. You can point it towards the back of the room. You can wrap it around your calf. Now, some of you maybe even dropping the chest over the thigh into sleeping eagle. That opens up that back body even more. A bit more of a balance challenge here. We're here for 3. Wherever you're at, 2, feeling contentment, we rise up on 1. In yogic terms, we call that santosha, releasing those legs, releasing the arms. Inhale to sweep those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale to forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift, inhale, reset. Exhale to fold. Arms come back up, inhale. Hands together to the heart, exhale. Second side, we open up those wings, exhale, placing the right arm underneath the left, eagle arms. And then sinking into your hips, drawing the legs together. Once again, your left leg becomes base. We shift the weight. You find your variation of eagle pose. Sink those hips down. Can wrap the leg around. And some of you even folding over for sleeping eagle. Nice, you guys, looking so strong. You got it. Wherever you're at, breathe in and through. Alert and relaxed in the body. We all start to come back up. If you're in your fold, we rise. We'll unravel the legs, unravel the arms. Inhale, reach those arms up to the ceiling. Exhale to forward fold. Halfway lift, flattening out. Exhale to fold. And planting the hands on the floor, stepping back, downward facing dog. You know your other options. One more round of chaturanga if you want it. Shifting forward, plank, kneeling plank. Exhale to bend those elbows, lowering down. Lifting the chest, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, child's pose. Few breaths. We'll all meet in a seat, finding our way down to the floor. Take a moment to find your honorable seat, to just be in the here and now, hands resting in your lap or on your knees.
And closing the eyes or gazing down. And we allow the feeling of not needing anything or wanting anything, that feeling of wholeness and being complete. Just let that settle into your heart center. We start to drop our agendas for ourselves, for others, for the world. And then if you would please go ahead and interlace the fingertips in front of you. Start to turn the palms out, start to round your upper spine. Do a little side to side movement with the rib cage. And then coming back to the center, we inhale, take those arms up towards the sky, gazing up. Exhale to tuck the chin and round. One more time, inhaling to rise up. Exhale to tuck the chin. This time we reach those arms up to the sky. We take the gaze up and then start to just take your gaze to the left and to the right. As you release the hands, head is to neutral. We bring the hands behind us once again. Interlacing fingertips together, reaching the knuckles down. Some of you grabbing towards the elbows. Some of you maybe even reverse prayer here. Feel the shoulder blades glide down your back. We feel the collarbone smile. And then taking your gaze one direction. And then coming back through and then gazing opposite way. And then we're back through the center again as we all release the hands, release those arms, and just bicycle the shoulders out. And then we'll go ahead and extend the legs out into a V shape. On the inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. We take a bend over to the right on the exhale. We'll come back up, breath in. Exhale to the other side. Inhale to rise back up. And this time into our forward fold as you reach forward, forward, and down, letting the hands rest, letting your head soften. And then we slowly come back up. I'll give you two options for your next stretch. Right leg is straightened out. You can bring that left foot to your inner thigh, or you have option for hurdler's pose, in which case the leg goes back. It's a little bit more of an internal rotation versus an external rotation of your thigh. So I'll let you decide. We turn towards that right leg. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then the exhale lets us fold. And we go ahead and gently bring ourselves back up. And then slowly extending the legs back out into your V shape. A little tap of the knees. Inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale to bend to the right.
Rise back up, bending over to the left on the exhale. Breath into the center. And breath out to forward fold. Reach forward, forward, and down. And then we'll come back up. We'll do our second side. Again, either head to knee pose with the foot to your thigh, right foot to your thigh, or you're in more of a hurdler's pose, taking that leg back. Okay. And then start to turn the chest over to the left. We reach those arms up. Exhale to fold over your straight leg. Heart is forward. Let your head drop. And then we come back up and bringing your legs forward this time. Little tap of the knees. And right knee comes into your chest. Moving into a twist, you have your options here, A, B, but over the extended leg, and then even option C to bend your left knee. We're twisting towards that top leg. So right hand behind you, inhale, and then twist and rotate on the exhale. You can just hug your knee into your chest. You can bring the elbow to the outside of your knee, especially if you want to be working a little bit more on the upper body, on the superficial back muscles as we stretch and gaze behind us. Every inhale, using your breath to help you lengthen through the spine. Every exhale, see if you can find a little bit more space for the breath out. Belly drawing in. Stay with it, couple more breaths. And then we bring ourselves all the way back around. Unravel your legs, prep yourself for your second side. You know where you're headed. Really ground down through your left foot. The inhale lets you lift up in your spine. The exhale lets you turn and twist. Continue to regulate your breath. One more breath here. And we come back around through the center. Go and release those legs once again. And extend them forward, little tap out. And then finally, bound angle. Soles of the feet together, knees opening up. Our final fold here, lifting up in the chest. Exhale, bringing the heart towards your toes. At this point, maybe you're feeling open enough to use your elbows to press into your inner thighs for a little bit more. If you're loving all these deep stretches, we have our yin class tomorrow with Mimi. If you want to join us for that, it's a free class. You'll hold these stretches for a little bit longer than we do in this class. And then slowly bringing yourself back up. Draw those legs together. Just give yourself a hug and a squeeze. It's just a reminder of self-love and self-care. And then bringing yourself down into the floor. You'll find your way onto your back body. You can put layers back on or socks if you need a little warmth, anything you need for your comfort. It's so great to see all your beautiful faces this morning. All you lovely souls out there. We may be practicing alone, but we're doing it together. So alone together. And start to make your way down into the floor. And if there's any final movements your body is still requesting, please move into them now. Some of you have an inversion practice. Some of you maybe more twisting. Perhaps it's just hugging the legs in and giving yourself another nice squeeze. If you're ready for final rest, you can just be as is. You're feeling complete. Thank you so much for all the requests this morning. So I hope we got into some good places with those hips, low back, upper spine, neck. All right, lovelies. And then in the next 8 breaths or so, you're going to start to make your way into your final position, making sure your left side, right side is equal. We remove disturbances in the body so the mind can settle. And as you start to lie down, feeling your back body really resting into the earth, I want you to just start to feel that heaviness into your mat and start to feel the earth rise into you. And then the eyes close, the face relaxes, the shoulders melt. And you soften into your own heart. And in this moment, all is well, all is right. We see the sacred in all things. We honor this great leap of faith. We take that first awkward step of surrendering into the here and now, letting go of what was, what will be. Let the exhale allow you to just release muscle from bone. Let the exhale allow you to untangle any connections to the past, any thoughts of the future. And then that inhale starts to fuel you up, starts to fill you up with more love, more light, meeting the divine will from within, the divine being from within. And then from that place, we expand back into the world. And I offer you take as much time as you need here, 10, 15 minutes of rest. And thank you so much for simply being in this world, for showing up in a loving way. I bow my head to you. I leave you with love and light. I leave you with power and with peace. Namaste.